Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. My name is Keiara and this is my channel Beauty and Beyond, and today's video is for Crystal. My hair is always in the way. So I have been having a wonderful time doing one-on-one makeup classes for the brand Makiage, and just doing some demos. And one of my potential clients that I was going to be working with, she wasn't able to make it to her appointment. She asked me if I had a YouTube channel, so I thought I would make this personalized video for her, focusing on what she wanted to learn that day, which was how to achieve natural everyday makeup. And I, of course, am going to be using my Makiage foundation, so let's get started with that. And of course, I'm just gonna go through step by step and show you what I use and my preferred methods. And I am going to try to get through this as quickly as I can and as efficiently as I can. Because despite my best efforts, my videos do tend to be on the longer side, and I'm really trying to avoid doing that. So hopefully I can get everything out that I need to say and also get the look done in a timely manner. So let's try. So of course, first you want to go through your skincare routine, clean face, clean base, and moisturize. I've already gotten that out of the way, so I'm just gonna get started with my priming. So I have my favorite eyeshadow primer here from Too Faced. It's their 24-hour shadow insurance primer, so of course I start with that. And I cannot guarantee that I'm going to remember to name everything that I'm using in the actual video, so I will link everything that I'm using down below in the description. But I take a little tiny bit and place that all over my eyelid, and I like to use an eyeshadow primer because it keeps everything on and keeps everything in place, especially if you are somebody like me that has hooded eyelids. You don't want anything to rub off or transfer or move or anything like that, so I just prefer to use an eyeshadow primer. Even though, yes, I do also sometimes tend to use like concealer and on the eyes and do that whole method, but I like the eyeshadow primer as a little bit of extra security, Next, I'm going to prime my face. I have this primer that is also from Too Faced. It's my favorite right now. It's the Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Primer, and I like to use this because my skin is more on the oily side, so I do like to use primers that are more mattifying. But when I am trying to go for like a more natural look, I will also mix a bit of an illuminating primer as well, but just a little bit. And of course, if you are somebody that is not really on the oily spectrum of things, then I will list some potential alternatives if you are somebody that has more dry skin. But I just mix a little of those two and just put it everywhere. Typically I like to start kind of from like, the center of the face and then work it out. Boom, we're primed. Now we can move on. Now, since I really don't have much brows, I do have to put mine on, so I typically like to start with my eyes first and then work my way into doing face. But since we are going natural today, I'm not really gonna focus much on my eyes, but I'm still gonna get my brows on. And I'm using this Dipbrow pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I prefer it because, like I said, I have to construct an entire eyebrow. So the pomade is just super easy to use, and I'm not really working too hard to get the product on. So that's what I like. But if you're somebody that already has brows, then of course you can go in with like a pencil or a powder and like just fill in those spots. But for the sake of showing you exactly what I do, I'm just gonna show you how I construct a perfect brow. I start at the bottom with a line so that I know exactly the shape. And get it where you want that tail to end, and then I'll just go in and I'll fill in that tail. And starting from the bottom, I have some control over exactly where I want my arch to go, like how high I want it to go and like the angle of it, you know? And then the rest is simply filling it in. And I'm kind of just taking like the back end of the brush to fill in the front with any product that's left over. And then if I need to take just a little bit more product just to fill in those, like, you know, blank areas that aren't filled in completely. And there you have it. We now have an eyebrow. So I'm gonna go quickly do the other one and then we can move on. Now that I have my brows on, typically I will start to focus on the eye, but like I said, since we're not really focusing too much on you know, eye makeup, I just want to focus on getting my base completed. So if you want to like clean up the brows or sharpen them, or you know, just make them stand out at all, I will typically go in with like a concealer base that is a little bit lighter than my foundation color or, you know, my skin color, just because I want those shadows to really pop. But you can achieve the same thing with your foundation if, you know, if eyes are not really your focus. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my foundation and I'm just gonna use that to clean up the brow. And this is great for like if you make any mistakes or anything like that. And I'm of course just using this little tiny flat brush, so any flat brush that you have will work. And then just taking that all over the lid and use this blender. And of course, like, you don't have to do, you know, this particular step, but this is just for the sake of if you want that precision, then it's a quick, like it's an easy thing to learn and to get into the habit of. Just using a flat brush to kind of get right beneath the brow, just, you know, for that precision. And then you can just take your foundation with like a beauty blender. This one is, it looks really huge because I just cleaned it. And again, you don't have to do this step, but for the sake of showing you how to do it, you have like your natural eye base, and we have also simultaneously like cleaned up the brows a little bit. And like I said, you can do this with either a concealer or with your foundation, depending on what you're planning to do for your eye look. Okay, so but now that we have like our eye base, I'm just gonna take a little bit of a loose translucent powder, and I'm just gonna set that just so it doesn't move. Okay, now we can focus on getting our foundation on our face. So I'm going to take that same blender, and I'm just going to start off with one single pump. And starting with one pump and then starting it on one area of the face and working it around the face, you're able to know how much you need, because I know a common thing that I get asked a lot from my students is, how do I know if I'm putting too much or too little? And you know, the best way to gauge that is to go in with one pump and to see how far you get with that single application of the foundation, and just working it all over. So I started with this one area of my face, and I pretty much managed to cover this entire side of my face. So now I know, okay, I can go in with a second pump and work the rest of my face. And of course you can use a brush or a blender, whatever you prefer. I prefer using a sponge or a beauty blender just because it's easier to use, and I'm not worried about any streaks or anything like that. It's just like a perfect, easy application, super quick, and you get all of those little areas. You get like everywhere. It gets everywhere. It gets everywhere it needs to be. And then one small final pump just for the forehead and those smaller areas of the face. Get rid of between those brows. Okay. We have our foundation, it's on, and just with 2.5 pumps, we've managed to cover our whole face. So now, if you need a little bit of coverage under the eye, you can take your favorite concealer. The one that I got from Makiage wasn't the right color, unfortunately, so I'm not going to use that one because it's too light. But I have this one here from e.l.f. Cosmetics that I've been really loving, and I start by applying it in the corner and then kind of working it outwards. And I kind of try to focus it this way because you want that brightness and you want to lift the face as much as possible. Now, I'm not gonna do like the whole chin, forehead, nose, everything like that. We're going really like minimal with this look. So we're gonna blend this out and then quickly set it. So there, just to give, you know, a little bit of brightness to the under eye. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of translucent powder, or I recommend like getting like a banana powder, like that sort of yellow tone. That just works so much better. The only reason I'm not using it now is because I don't have one. I haven't had a chance to get another one. So I'm just using this Airspun powder to set under the eye. Now, if your skin is very sensitive or if you're more on the dry side, you can go in with, you know, minimal powder if you don't want to do the whole baking situation. But if you are somebody that deals with like heavy creasing under the eye, then don't be afraid to like take that powder and set it with like as much powder as you need, but just kind of press it into the skin. That is important. You want to press it in because that's what's gonna stop that creasing. And really just focus it right underneath. So that is that on that. And then I'm gonna quickly just take this same powder and a face brush and just kind of set the rest of my face. Now, I'm gonna be honest, usually I am not this minimal with my powders because I am really oily and I start creasing everywhere immediately. But for the sake of showing you just, you know, minimal use of product, I'm not gonna go crazy with my powder like I usually do. This is simply to set. But if you find that you're starting to crease right away because you're more on the oily side, you can just take some powder and just press it into that area where you will start to crease. And just let it sit there for a second. Just in those areas where you know you're gonna crease the most. So typically I start to crease really bad in my, you know, in my frown lines or smile lines, whatever you want to call them, and just, you know, in this area between my brows. So I will take a little bit of extra powder to those areas just to contain that, lock that in. And then I'm going to take this mineral baked bronzer from Makiage. This is my favorite thing right now. It's like a perfect 2-in-1 blush and bronzer, because usually I'll have them separately. I'll have a blush and a bronzer and I'll just like do that whole thing. But if you don't want to have to use 2 different products, I think 2-in-1 blush bronzers are like the greatest invention. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this on this brush, and in the same way that you would do a contour, just take this and run it like from the apples of the cheek and up. And of course, like if you want to go on the Makiage website and see this mineral baked bronzer, they do have other colors, and you know, they have different kinds. So if maybe this particular one you're not sure about, they do have other options. And just for that glow, I'm going to take a little bit on my nose, just, you know. And then since I did use like powders and, you know, mattifying products, I am going to go in with a little bit of highlighter. And I'm just going to take that along the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, and my chin. So yeah, I'm going to just take a little bit of that highlight to my forehead, just to give you that natural like skin sheen, you know, put that natural glow back into the face. Now I'm going to take that same highlighter and I'm just gonna take that just under the brow. Ooh, forgot how blinding this is. There we go. Just tone it down just a little bit. And then you can take a little bit and put it on the inner corner. Give the eyes some pizzazz, you know, just a little something. And then we can go in with some mascara. Take your eyelash contraption and trap your eyelashes. And apply your favorite mascara. And quickly do the other eye. And then if you're ever doing this step and you get a little bit of mascara on your eyelids, or me sometimes when I'm trying to get my lashes over in this corner, I will get this huge spot of mascara on my nose. And the important thing when you make a mess with mascara is to let it dry first. I learned that from a friend of mine, Alex. Shout out to you, Alex. Letting the mascara dry first will make it easier to just pick it off with like your finger or a clean spoolie brush. So there's a little tip. And then to further give the eyes a little bit of dimension, I'm going to take a brown liner. Brown liner is probably like one of my best investments. I'm going to take a little bit and focus it on the outside and then just to the middle. And then if you want to, you can apply a little bit of mascara to your bottom lashes. and that's it for the face. And then you can apply your favorite lip color. I love wearing nude lipstick, is like my favorite thing, or like, you know, nude gloss. So I like to take just like a simple brown lip liner. Applying lip liner before applying your favorite nude shade or just a lip color in general, I feel like it just makes a huge difference and gives the look, gives your lips some real like shape and definition. So there, and then I'm just going to apply this nude lip color from NYX Cosmetics. Wow, we love to see it. And then you can take your favorite setting spray just to lock in the look. But anyway, this is essentially the steps that I take to achieve a natural everyday look, and we achieved this doing what I believe to be like, you know, very minimal. Of course, we primed and we did our eyebrows. If you don't have to do your eyebrows, you're already ahead of the game, but I have to put on my eyebrows, and I did not do anything for the eyes. And again, you can just, you know, apply your foundation all over your eyes and set it with a little bit of powder, and then you can move on to skin, which of course will be starting off with your foundation and a little bit of concealer under the eye just to, you know, brighten under the eye, and then setting that with your favorite loose powder or pressed powder, and moving on to a little bit of your blush bronzer combination for like a nice little glow. And then we just did a little bit of an inner corner highlight and a little bit of brown eyeliner just in your waterline, and some mascara and your favorite nude lip combo. And of course, we cannot complete the look without a little bit of highlighter just to, you know, give the skin a nice, you know, what I call like a nice artificial glow. But yeah, as someone that rarely does like a natural toned down look, I love this look. I love doing like a natural, a nice natural beat, and it's super simple and super easy, and probably wouldn't take as long if I wasn't, I mean, of course, if you're going to be doing this on yourself and not talking to a camera or talking to someone else, you'll be able to get this done super quickly, especially because, like I said, we didn't really focus too much on doing any elaborate eyeshadow or anything like that. But if you would like to see how to get like a nice natural eye look, I will be more than happy to make that video next. But I did want to focus on skin today, and I'm very happy with the result. And Crystal, I hope you're happy with the result, and if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them for you. But I hope this was helpful, and I hope this, you know, told you what you needed to know as far as how to achieve a simple, quick, natural makeup look for every day. And I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I hope you're you know, being safe. I was very happy to make this video, and I kind of really love the idea of making personalized videos based on specific things that people want to learn. So I'm excited to potentially have the opportunity to do this again. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.